Good afternoon, everyone. Super excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for joining these open days from Pygma. We can't wait to tell you more about Pygma, our program. We also have some special people that we've invited today, so you can get to know more about the type of founders that we accelerate and the type of founders that we like to partner. So I say, let's get started. Let me just pull up the presentation so we can get started. But it's awesome to be here with you today. And I hope that we can answer many questions about what Pygma does and how we work and how we operate. Awesome. Great. Let's get started. Welcome to the Pygma experience. There's so much that I want to tell you. So I want to start off by sharing a little bit more about Pygma, who we are, before we actually jump into you meeting some awesome founders. So Pygma, our mission is to accelerate the next generation of startup founders. My name is Andres Campo. I'm going to be your host for today. I'm one of the co-founders of Pygma. I'm also the CPO, and I can't wait to tell you more about what we do and who we are. So a little bit about Pygma. We are a pre-seed accelerator that supports Latino tech founders. What we usually look for when we're working with companies is that these companies have a strong founder market fit. And what that means is that the founder has experience already working in that industry, or has a very good insight about that industry, something that positions the founder in a way that has an advantage for them. So it's very important for us at Pygma that we find these type of founders that are building tech companies. And something that we also look at, which is very important, are the trends that these founders are able to leverage in their industry. So that's a little bit about Pygma. Currently, we operate in Latin America, but we've been able to accelerate companies in Europe, but also in Australia and as well as in Emirates. So there is a lot that we've been doing and a lot of regions where we have presence, and currently is about 14 countries and also 74 companies in our portfolio. So this is the Pygma team. It's a team that has a lot of experience where it comes down to technology, and it's a team that has a lot of experience working and helping out startups. So everything from venture capital to building products to scaling products and having that growth. This is what we focus on, and this is what we're good at. And we were able to do that through our team that has all this expertise. A little bit of why we started to build Pygma is because we've realized that there was a lot of potential in Latin America. So there is still the one in terms of startups and startup ecosystem in Latin America, and that's why we think is the best time to start building right now, is because it's a very exciting time and there is a lot to be built. Some interesting facts about the region. About a third of our region is entrepreneurial, and I'm talking about any type of business, which actually shows that there is this hunger to build things and to build businesses. There was a massive increase in venture capital before we started the downturn. Latin America was one of the fastest growing regions in terms of venture capital in 2020, 2021. I even think that in 2022, we also were able to hit a very high ranking in terms of growth in venture capital. But something that we've realized is that probably less than 1% of founders are getting help and are getting support from accelerators or company or programs that help these companies scale and be successful. I want to tell you more about the problems that we're excited to solve at Pygma. And these are problems that we've realized after working with 200 founders in Latin America. And we need to start by saying that we know that building a company is very hard. And in Latin America, there is a special flavor to building companies, which makes it challenging. And what we really think and what we've been able to learn is that there is just so much education that needs to be done in terms of the startups and building companies. And that's what we're excited to build Pygma to actually tackle this problem. So what we think is that the ecosystem needs sort of a reset. And what we've seen is that there is a wrong mindset around building a company. And a lot of founders and a lot of what's in the ecosystem is all around fundraising and venture capital instead of building sustainable businesses, thinking about how to grow your company. So we kind of want to change that and approach it differently. We've also realized that there is no really formal education, or there's not a lot of education and information out there on how to build companies. I'm talking about quality information. These are things that are not being taught at business schools. So we feel like there is a gap that we need to fill in the market. And lastly, we think that there is a lot of silo thinking. There is a lot of communities that are fragmented and networks that are fragmented. So we're actively thinking of ways of how can we connect the dots so we can make it easier for Latin America to build amazing companies. I want to tell you a little bit more about our program and what we've been building. So this is our program at Pygma. We have a 12-week program that is hybrid, and some of the coolest things that we're doing is that in our next program, we're going to be having a New York City immersion trip that's optional for founders. So you're free to go if you get into the program. We're going to be inviting you, as well as inviting all of our community and alumni, which are also going to be participating in this immersion trip in New York City, in order to connect with the ecosystem in the US. So some important things to know about our program. We run 2 batches per year, and we try to have batches about 15 startups per batch. So more or less, these are the amount of companies that we want to accelerate per batch. And we do cash investments in the top performers, which is something that we're actually bettering our deal. And I can't wait to tell you what is our final deal. But at the moment, what we can say is that we are investing in the top performance from the batches that start right now on. So this is something that we're excited to support founders further, and we can wait to tell you exactly how this deal will look like soon in the future. And in order to participate in the Pygma program, is a 1% equity in order for you to be part of this community, to get access to the program, to get access to a potential cash investment, to get access to the New York City trip, but also just to be part of this, which I think brings a lot of momentum to startups. And we've learned that it puts startups in a really good position. The outcome of the program, we have 3 objectives for you, for the founders that are watching. Number 1, we want you to build a company that is more data-driven and that you are making better decisions, but also just being more informed about your business and how you should run your business. We also want to help you improve your product, make sure that you're building the right product that has a great value proposition, but as well that you're able to pivot if it's needed. And then lastly, we want you to become a world-class fundraiser, which we think is a skill that is very difficult to gain. And is one of the things that we focus the most at Pygma is how can we help our founders fundraise properly? How can we help them do it in a professional manner? I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the structure that we have in our program. So we broke down the Pygma program in sort of like 3 phases, which is research, strategy, and traction. So we want every startup to rethink how they do research, how they collect data, and what they do with that data, so they become faster at experimenting, but also at improving their business. We do a lot of strategy work to help companies have a clear strategy to push towards, and we do it on different dimensions. We do that on product, on brand level. We also do it on a fundraising level. And then lastly, we work on the traction of the company by just helping them out grow their company and understanding what are the different levers for growth and how they could actually take their company to their next level. In the Pygma program, we have 2 tracks that go along the entire program. One of them is the product track, in which we cover all of the different subjects that have to do with product. We are very practice-oriented, which means that we help founders really hands-on with workshops and with one-on-ones to really improve their product. And we do the same on our fundraising track. So we just give them access to a lot of quality information. We help them strategize in terms of fundraising. We bring very top VCs as well as angels and people that can be speakers, and sort of like shine a light into our founders on how to do these things. So these 2 tracks are kind of like going in parallel, and we think that this is the best formula to prepare founders to build that world-class company. We've had amazing speakers throughout the program, book authors such as Ash Maruya. We have great investors such as Ali Jamal, great founders such as Angela Costa, people from the ecosystem such as Jair. So we're just very proud to be able to be this platform where all of these people meet and share their insights and share their knowledge with other founders. I also want to take the time to thank all of the partners that have been supporting us in providing this program to founders. And it's through these partnerships that we're able to give better support to our founders in the shape of perks, but also knowledge when it's needed. So this is something that we also incorporate inside our program. A few more things about our accelerator before we move on. So we are very happy to have invested with different organizations and companies. So we've been able to graduate a couple of companies into Techstars program, but also some of great co-investors from our current portfolio are the ones that you see on screen. And a lot of great companies have gone through our program, but we want to highlight a few that we think that have done amazing, such as Cubic, which is building in logistics, WeHome, which is building in the e-commerce space, Blind Creator, which is also building in the influencer or the content creation sphere, which just shows that we have a very diverse portfolio of companies that have been part of our program, or companies that we've invested separately outside of our program, such as Airbag and Refurbi. Just to deep dive a little bit further in some success cases, Cubic has been doing amazing and is being coined as one of the fastest growing startups in Argentina and in Chile as well. And there are logistics platforms that helps companies do better logistics. And it's been a fantastic team to work with, and it's been such a delight to help them grow throughout our program. As well as Circula, we love when we get to help sustainable businesses or businesses that are building on top of impact, such as them, Peruvian startup, Peruvian company that actually got into the Latino Founders Fund program. So they got an investment from Google for startups. So these are some of the success cases that we love to see in our portfolio, especially these type of companies that are making a massive impact in our region. And lastly, WeHome is a Colombian company, which is actually where Pygma got started, that does e-commerce and helps e-commerce businesses settle their finances on a monthly basis. So it's a great business that is focused around tech, and it's one of our success cases as we help them as well secure their seed round after they went through our program. And a few quotes from our founders, which is, I think, what makes us the happiest, is to see how founders encourage, how they embrace our program, and how they encourage other founders to apply and to be part of this community. So we love to see how founders are actively talking about Pygma and sharing with the world how excited they are to be part of this community. And that's enough about Pygma. That's enough about our program. I want to go ahead and start this space in which we're going to be inviting two founders that are part of the Pygma Lion community. So the first one is Rodrigo Perez, who is the CEO of BigQuick. He actually graduated from the PY2 program, which was our second ever program. So he's an alumni from that program. And we also have Alessia Verdi, which is the CEO of Maku. She's actually taking our current program, which is PY4. So we just thought it was going to be a very nice mix to have one person that already did the program and one founder that is currently taking to sort of tackle some questions that we have that we frequently get asked. And we want you to be able to learn from these questions that we prepare for Rodrigo and for Alessia. So, Rodrigo, dude, it's awesome to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. It's so great to have you here.
Likewise, Andres. Nice to see you again. Nice to meet you, Alessia.
Hi, Rodrigo. Nice to meet you. Thank you, Andres, for the invitation.
No, thank you so much, Alessia, as well. Of course, we get to see each other on a weekly basis, but it's great to have you here. So, guys, I have a few questions for you, so the public gets to know a little bit more about Pygma. So I think we need to start with the basics, and is what is BigQuick and what is Maku? So if you guys could just quickly tell the audience what is it that you guys are building, so everyone gets more context.
Perfect.
You go first,
you want to go first? Okay. Ladies first, then.
Ladies first, yeah.
Perfect. So Maku is a digital platform that makes machinery and spare parts in the construction and mining industry widely available. Basically, we help companies make their unused inventory profitable by maximizing their leads and sales through our digital solutions.
Awesome. Thank you, Alessia, for that intro. Rodrigo?
Yes, when a hotel needs a product like food, beverage, napkins, whatever they need, they require a quote before making a trade. And before us, they used to wait at least 3 days for receiving the first one. They need at least 3 quotes per product to make a good job. And we help them with the most fastest and easy ways to get quotes and to transact with any kind and size of vendor. And that's it, a platform that allows them to trade with any kind of vendor.
Awesome. I love what you guys are building, especially because these are industries that are due for innovation. So it's really cool to see that, Alessia, you're building in an industry that probably doesn't have a lot of tech and innovation at the moment. And I'm saying for you, Rodrigo, this is an industry that also needs a lot of support from awesome founders like you. So I'm going to start with the first question, and I'm going to pass it on to Alessia. So the question is, why did you decide to enter Pygma? What was it about our accelerator that made you excited?
Well, there were a few things. I think I first heard about Pygma from a friend, which who was part of a past batch. And I think that from a founder's perspective, that's the most valuable advice or reference you can get from another founder that has already experienced being part of a program. So I think that was the first thing that drew me to submit my application. And then also when I started learning or getting to know the approach that Pygma had around fundraising, which was good for us because we were currently opening our fundraising round, and also the product perspective and product approach, product growth, was super interesting for us because we're constantly developing our product, and I think that's a key thing for us to consider. And well, I think the third thing was that we had in our plans to enter Colombia, to start operations in Colombia, so everything kind of added up.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Alessia. I'm so glad to hear that you learned from another founder. It's actually our biggest acquisition channel is word of mouth. So it's great to hear that it's working. And Rodrigo, for you, it's the same question. Why did you decide to join Pygma?
Yes, in that time we were making a pivot, and when you do that, like everything happened, But it is like it started again, and an accelerator program like totally makes sense in that moment for us. to jump and receive help in these early stages of building a new thing.
Awesome. So next question, I'm going to start with you, Rodrigo, this time. And maybe you could share with the audience, what were some of the challenges that your company had before you joined Pygma?
Yeah, the number one is validating the main problem and building an MVP. Like we have the idea, we have like all the elements, but the problem or the main problem was like testing and like be super laser focused on what matters, and Pygma help us with that.
Awesome, Rodrigo. What about you, Alessia? What were some of the problems that you were facing a few weeks ago before you joined the program?
I think our biggest challenge was around fundraising. I think there are two different things about fundraising we were struggling with. One is all the resources and information we needed to know in order to start fundraising. It's not as easy as just, okay, I'm raising X amount of dollars. You have to do a lot of planning before that, and you need to have ready a lot of documentation, a lot of I don't know, like define which is the investor profile you're looking for, if it's an angel, if it's a VC, and those sort of things that we didn't have as much in mind. And also, it's very important to have a good go-to-market strategy in terms of fundraising. Like, how are you going to contact the potential investors? And I think that was our biggest struggle, which we are now working and improving a lot.
Awesome. Great to hear that, Alessia. I think, I like to think that we're able to help you out with that in these weeks. Same question. Well, actually, no. Let's move on. We have another question, and it has to do with that question, though, which is, how has Pygma helped you overcome that challenge that you had? And let's start with Alessia this time. So you had this fundraising challenge. How has it been in terms of support for you around this challenge?
Well, as Pygma has a really strong approach in fundraising, apart from the mentorship sessions that we have had with the Pygma team, in general, the sessions that you guys give are super valuable for what we currently need. But also the one-on-one sessions are super important, and that's one of the things that I really appreciate and value about Pygma, that it's very tailor-made. So it's not like general investment readiness. It's that ad hoc or personalized investment readiness according to what you need in that specific moment. So I think that's one of the strongest way that Pygma has helped us through the mentorship and one-on-one sessions.
Great to hear. Thank you for sharing, Alessia. And on your side, Rodrigo, you said that you were just starting this pivot and, trying to test things. How would you say Pygma helped you overcome some of these challenges?
Yes, I remember super clearly working also with you and the part of that program of all the mental maps around focus on the problem, on the needs of the customer and the solution, right? Like that really help us to organize our ideas and prioritizing the things that we have to test in the order to receive the final answer on what to build or what to accelerate. So I really enjoy that and tell you that it works.
I'm glad to hear that it works, Rodrigo. I remember that we were working, looking at your UX and everything, but it was definitely a fun experience. So those that are connected, if you guys have a question, feel free to put it on the chat. Feel free to put it on the comments as well. We want to make sure that we get to your questions as well. But there is a couple more questions that I want to ask these founders. And this one is very important. Rodrigo, let's start with you this time. What does the Pygma Lion effect mean for you?
Well, the Pygma Lion, like when we start the sessions, you explain it, and it was part of the brand at the moment. I see it like that. But the first event that I have the opportunity to attend and see other fellows from the first batches, and the effect of helping each other and feel like you're part of this, like really get the sense of what is Pygma Lion effect, no? Like working together as a Latin America founders, I can say, all around this community and the connections that everyone is willing to help, giving first. So for me, is that Pygma Lion is the compromise to give first and be part of this community that has the same mindset.
Awesome, Rodrigo. And on your side, Alessia, what would you say? How do you describe the Pygma Lion effect?
I agree a lot with Rodrigo. I think for me, it's being the Pygma Lion effect is being part of a community that motivates you to thrive and keep pushing. And also it's like this sense of belonging in a community, like in a safe space where you can share not only the good things but also the struggles and the bad things without feeling judged, because everyone is or either is going through it or has gone through it, and so everyone is willing to help. And that sense of belonging, I think that represents the Pygma Lion effect.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Alessia. So I have another question for you guys, which is, what's different about Pygma? So if you've been at different accelerators or had different experiences, what would you say is different from Pygma? Let's start with you, Alessia.
I think there are two important things that differentiate Pygma from others, other acceleration programs, at least I know. And one of them is the international approach and exposure that you have, not only in terms of maybe VCs or potential investors in whole LATAM, and not even only LATAM, worldwide actually, but also you get to share with other founders from other countries, which is super important and super valuable for you to get to know other markets and also other experience from different perspectives. And I think that is super valuable. And also I really think that I think I mentioned it before, but that tailor-made experience that Pygma gives you, I think it's not so normal to find in other programs. And I think that makes you guys stand out.
Thank you, Alessia. And on your side, Rodrigo, what would you say is different from the Pygma experience?
Yes, so I had the opportunity to be in a different accelerator, even before, like in the pivots before, and I can say that what really enjoy of Pygma, and I can say like the main differentiation is the component of being in Latin America. Like you understand really well the problem we are trying to tackle, and the value around that in the connections. Like that really helps. That's so different because in others you can of course like see more global, but you have to start like local, and having that opportunity to have you in that path of accelerating the solution, but with the vision of Latin America, like really makes a difference.
Awesome, Rodrigo. Thank you for sharing as well. Okay, we have a question from the audience. It's a little bit of an ad hoc question. I want you to answer it. I'm going to start with Alessia. So, Alessia, I don't know if you have the opportunity to be at two programs at the same time, but what would you say? Would you recommend this?
Definitely not. I would not recommend it because, I mean, a program, an accelerating program, or in general, any program that you do takes a lot of time. So, like, you hardly have time to continue with your business and do like take the most advantage of the program. So I wouldn't imagine being able to really take the most advantage of two programs at the same time. So I wouldn't suggest that.
Great. Thank you for sharing. And Rodrigo, I know you were at some point in two programs at the same time, I believe. So maybe you can share your perspective.
Yeah, I was I was trying to do it, but today, like with all this experience that I have accumulated in the Accelerator program, of course, also, I have to say it is not. I don't recommend it because, like, if you have to set the times of your day, don't forget about your life, your personal life. So you have your business tasks, the Accelerator program that it is like challenge you and asking you for all the milestones to achieve, and then your own life, so if you make two programs, it will consume you, of course, like at any time, any percentage of your life. So remember that you have to be like, don't burn out, don't be in a good health.
Oh, thank you.
So with one program will be okay. Oh, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Great. I think we didn't miss anything, Rodrigo, but yeah, thank you for sharing your perspective, because you actually were part of two programs at some point. So I think it's valuable. Guys, if you're connected and you have two perspectives already, maybe not the most recommended thing to do. So guys, to close it up, I have a last question for the both of you. And is, what are the next steps for your company? Let's start with you, Rodrigo. What's next for Be Quick?
Yeah, for Be Quick, we are accelerating the product. Finally, we laser focus on what generates value and generates revenue. We are on that path to build all the features around this particular value proposition. I think I find more problems for my user, and I'm trying to cover all, and that consumes time on building. So today we make a stop on that and focus in one thing, and that's the new challenge for Be Quick. Focus on one thing. We just crossed the $100,000 in total revenue by this year, in these early 8 months. So something is working, and that's the thing that I will focus on this last part of the year.
Massive congratulations, man. Congrats on that achievement. I know it's really hard to get there, and it's great to hear that things are working out for your team. Alessia, for you, what are the next steps for your company when the program finishes?
Well, hopefully we've closed our round. And also, I think the first step after the program finishes, or maybe in the next weeks before the program finishes, hopefully we can start our operations in Colombia, at least put a foot on the country. And also, right now we're working strongly in our second version of our website. So we're planning to launch it hopefully end September, early October. So I'll share the news.
Fantastic. Awesome, Alessia. I'm glad to hear that. Guys, I appreciate tremendously your time. Thank you so much for being part of this Open Days and sharing with the community what it feels to be part of the community of Pygma, what it feels to be part of this accelerator. So thanks a lot for your time, and I wish you the best of lucks in your path. Okay.
Thank you, Andres.
Thank you, Andres. Nice to see you again.
Bye,
ciao,
Rodrigo.
See you around, guys.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Alessia.
Ciao.
Oh, we just missed a couple of the questions that came through. So I'm going to try to answer the questions, even though the founders just left. Whoa, okay. First one, how do you manage product dedication versus networking as a CEO? Okay, I'm not going to be able to answer this question. I'm not the CEO of Pygma. I'm the CPO. And we just had the awesome Rodrigo and Alessia leave. But okay, maybe for next time, Thiago, try to be a bit quicker with the question. And then Giovanni, this is a very good question. How much weekly dedication does Pygma require? We've actually set out to take the less amount of time and give the most amount of value for you. So we currently, our week looks about 7 to 8 hours in terms of programming. There is a little bit of homework and things that you need to do. So we're probably touching the 10 hours per week, but we're very flexible and we ensure that you have time to build your business. So I hope that I'm able to answer your question, Giovanni. And Tiago, I think best to do is to reach out directly to Rodrigo and Alessia and ask them those questions. But yeah, thanks a lot for connecting and for the awesome questions. So thanks a lot, guys, for being part of this open day. Can't wait for you to be part of Pygma and apply and join our accelerator. If you're a founder, you're building something in technology, you really know your industry, you want to build something that scales regionally and globally, we want to work with you. We want to partner with you. So please go ahead and apply. And yeah, we can't wait to assess your application. And we will see you in another edition of Open Days. Thank you. Bye-bye.